Hi guys, and welcome back to Confessions of a Dollar Tree Addict. Today I am showing you guys an inside look on some of my fall decor. Everything on my buffet is from the Dollar Tree, just about everything except for the actual real live plants. And all of the DIYs that I'm going to show you today and all the decor on this table minus my bread box and my live plants is from the Dollar Tree. Everything here that you see, including the runner and the tier tray and the fall tree and everything here is under $23. So for such a small amount of money, you can decorate your home for the fall and do these really easy, super duper simple DIYs that I didn't even use hot glue to make my fall tree because I gave up on that gun. Okay, guys, we're going to quickly go through the components as we put this together. There is the tall tea light from the Dollar Tree, spray painted in gold, and the margarita glass that's normally clear, also spray painted in gold. I did use them in a previous project, and I'm recycling them now. That is the faux wood charger, as well as from their new dinner wall collection. I think it's their Thanksgiving dinnerware collection. The gather plate and the pumpkin dinner size plate. These are the 4 items that I'm using from the fall collection, and the tea light I think they carry year round. Maybe even the margarita glass, but for sure those 3 items came out this fall and they are available now. First, I'm going to take the charger, find its center, and I'm gluing the margarita glass on. But if you don't want to use the margarita glass and you have a candle holder or some other item that you think would look cool in this space that would be tall enough to hold whatever you want to put in your first tier and looks good, you could always glue that on. You could use so many different items from around the house to make a tier tray. And there's that dinner plate, and that dinner plate happens to be really beautiful. I just saw ones at the Christmas tree store, very similar in an upcoming I walked through Christmas tree store video. And I think they were $6 or $7 a plate. And those were $1 at the Dollar Tree. They're almost identical. Very beautiful plates they came out with this year. So I didn't need a whole set, but I just wanted to have a little taste of it. That's why I decided to make this tier tray. And here we have the gold tea light. You find the center of the dinner plate, and I'm gluing that on. It's really tall, and it will hold the small salad size gather plate really well. This does hold a lot, although the tea light is very delicate. Once it's glued in, it's sturdy, and these tiers do hold a lot. The Be Blessed and Thankful topiary that I put at the very top of my creation is very heavy, and this tier tray holds it no problem. And as you can see, I have ceramic and wood items on the tiers, and they're holding up just fine. It's really well made, and I'm really happy with this product. So I love upcycling things and recycling things because I hate waste in the world. And I'm not like a super recycler, but I do feel like sometimes things that are made of glass and metal get thrown away so quickly without even a second thought. And I happen to like a certain jar that my husband always buys, peppercini peppers, they're called, but they're they come in like a really fat, almost like pickle jar kind of jar. And I just think that they're really useful to spray their lids in a pretty color. And you'll see what I did with mine. I actually spray painted the lid gold so I can also use it during Christmas time. But I'm going to put my full candy in it. The next DIY is really just an upcycling of a glass jar. I hate throwing away cool glass jars because when you go to the Christmas tree store or other places, you pay money for literally something that you buy and throw away. So when my husband buys his favorite peppers, Italian sweet peppers that come in these chubby pickle barrel looking jars. I love to keep them and put candy or jewelry or scrunchies, and then, doll them up with maybe a necklace outside of it or a bracelet or whatever, ribbons, and gift it to people in that, instead of paying money to buy a gift bag when why should I waste $1 and throw away a glass jar? So I did cut some ribbon down to the size of the jar and hot glue it, seaming it together and hot glued it. And then I sped up this part of the DIY a little because it's just basically me looking through my stash, trying to decide what I'm going to put on this jar so that I can keep my full candy in it, leave it by the table, and not have it look like it stands out. I started with the smaller Black Eye Susan, and I decided that they weren't big enough because the burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree with the lace in the middle is a pretty large, wide. So I decided to use the larger, darker sunflowers that I have. But I do love the Black Eye Susans. They're my favorites. And then I put the sunflower in the center. I cut the back plastic off, but I had to hot glue the sunflower together so it didn't fall apart, because there are like 3 pieces to the flower. There are, every floral pick has different layers of flowers, but this one has like 3 layers, and I just glued them together and then glue them onto the jar while hot gluing my fingers as usual. I'm very bad with the hot glue gun. I always end up getting 3rd-degree burns, but I never learn. And I did have those pink finger covers and I didn't use them, but I did since haul yet another pair of the Sassy and Chic ones because I think that they might work better for me. And so here I am gluing all the petals down because it drives me crazy when they stick up and they're not evenly sticking out. So you don't have to do this, but I decided to do it. And I kind of love how it came out, actually. Thought it was really cute, but it needed something more. At first I was like, oh, okay, that's done. And then I'm like, nah, no way. And I always pull this yellow algae looking, grassy looking stuff off of, not algae. It reminds me of like seaweed algae, but I just always like using it in everything. I think it looks so cool. And I ended up putting it on both sides because I like to go sometimes over the top as usual. I think it would have been, maybe some people probably would have liked it just with the sunflower, or maybe just a small piece of jute cord and the sunflower, but I really love how it came out. I think it blends in with the rest of the stuff, and you almost can't even tell that it's a candy jar, but it does serve a storage function of candy because I don't have a lot of storage. And I do want to have my candy out in case someone wants it, because I don't want it to go bad and I don't want it to stay here forever. And then I decided that the top needed something. It didn't really. I could have actually labeled what kind of candy it is, but I didn't do that. And ultimately, I did decide to put one of the Black Eye Susans on the lid, although I went through lots of different thought process before I finally decided to just put it on the top and let it be. In the third and final DIY that I'm putting in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my version of a fall tree. I did include footage of the one that the Christmas tree store sells, which is $30. And I just wanted to let you guys know that my plant, which is the plant that I showed in the video, passed away, and I used the stem from my plant. But other people use plungers or just a piece of dry wood from their garden. So I am making this full tree to go alongside my tier tray. I just showed you guys my cool lights that are on a timer, and they're battery operated, that I got at Bed Bath & Beyond last year for $1.25 on crazy clearance. I have a bunch of different supplies. around me. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to use, but I do know that I have a ton of leaves that I bought last year on sale at Walmart that I'm still trying to use, but the Dollar Tree also has them. I have this burlap. I have this. I don't think I even end up using it. I have some peat moss from the Dollar Tree, and all of those leaves. That is what is making me want to do this fall tree that I have seen a bunch of people do in all different ways. And I don't know how they do it so effortlessly that they glue all of those leaves onto their stem. That is unfortunately a piece of my plant that died. I am trying to get the third and final tallest piece to come back to life. It still seems to be sort of alive, but this part completely died, and I'm using it to make my fall tree on. Um, I'm not really sure which way I'm going to go with any of this. So I'm playing with all of the stuff that I had on the table. I think I do end up, oh, yes, the final version does actually have, I had put a yogurt container in there, but in the end, I didn't need it. I thought it would hold it in better. One of those glass wee jars. I'm always trying to find things to do with my glass wee jars because I love that yogurt and I love that it comes in a glass container, but it doesn't have a real lid. And then there's nothing you could do with it. At first, I was really excited about it because it did glue in really well and the peat moss was cool. But I do come through some trials and tribulations towards the end because I could not get the leaves to hot glue onto my stem. No matter what I did, I don't know how. I watch other people do the same exact thing, gluing them on, and they get them to stay on. But I just have zero luck with hot glue. Every time I use it, there's some sort of tragedy. But I do come up with a really brilliant alternative. So we do start off with it working. I'm cutting off the limbs of the stem, of the leaf stems, and I'm separating them and I'm gluing them on so that there's a lot on above the line of the wood so that I can branch it out afterwards so it could be like a really rounded off tree. And I'm putting the glue there and I'm trying to hold it, but I'm very impatient. I don't have patience for hot glue. I think that's the problem. And I keep thinking, okay, well, I'll just come back to it because I don't feel like burning my fingers, but I started burning them, as you can see, even though I did buy those pink things from the Dollar Tree that cover your fingers, but I never use them. And I even bought some more that you guys are probably going to see very soon in my next haul video, but I never remember to use them. And I have wire cutters, but I just prefer twisting and twisting until they just come apart. The leaves, I don't know. I'm like a bull in a china shop. I can't help it. It's just the way that I am. But I am having a really good time and crafting this fall tree. I just know that other crafters out there do things maybe more methodically and, with more order. But there are others, I'm sure, out there like me that twist the metal like that until it comes apart and end up not using their hot glue gun because they're sick of burning their fingers and come up with alternatives, which is what you guys are going to be witnessing very, very soon when I completely lose it because I just do not have the patience. I should have probably used, no, crazy glue wouldn't work. Well, everybody says that hot glue is like an instant hold, but not when you have to hold it with your fingers like that. I just don't have the patience to do it. I know that it doesn't take long, but I don't know what happened. I felt like it wasn't drying fast enough. I was leaving it go and it was still wet, maybe because it was so much. But then I get this really great idea because I started thinking, why am I hot gluing this on? I could even tie these on. I was like, I feel like I should just be able to tie them on. I'm going to wrap burlap around it And then I was thinking, I wish I had a ton of different kinds of colored orange ribbon, because I would have just tied different colored ribbons all the way down. But I actually didn't have a ton of different orange shades of ribbon. So I was just going to stick to the original plan of using the burlap, but I needed something to hold all of these leaves on because it was getting very, very tedious. I'm recording this voiceover, it actually just dawned on me that I could have used the clamps that I hauled, or used bigger ones, or I have a million clamps in the house. And I can't believe that I didn't think of that while I was doing this, but you live and you learn. And I don't even think I would ever use the hot glue again, because the idea that I came up with when I finally give up altogether with the hot glue is kind of a game changer for me. And I will totally try to do this with poinsettias or something like that in the winter, because I think it will come out really cool on one of those plunger type versions of it, because I have seen people do it with the plungers, and I just think it's really, really cute. And I may just decide to make another one. It was really cool in the end, and I really like how it looks in the pot. But here I am with a rubber band, and I'm just like, okay, I'm over it. I'm going to put rubber bands on here, and I'm going to just connect everything onto the stem with a rubber band. Why not? What do you guys think of that? Isn't that sort of a game changer for all you fall tree makers out there? This really does work. And also, it doesn't damage the stems. You can take the tree apart and repurpose the stalks the following year, or make a different fall tree, or change it up. You can do so many things differently if you just don't glue them on. I think that it is actually the way to go. Even though I know everybody loves to use their hot glue guns, I'm just saying, sometimes when we can't do something and we find an alternative way, the alternative way is better. I really think that rubber bands are, this reminds me of how when you buy broccoli, it used to have a rubber band on it. It's perfect. I'm just going to get a big bag of rubber bands, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of different fall and Christmas type trees for friends. I think that they make really cute gifts, and they're so easy to make this way. And you can paint the stalk if you want. You could just do so many different things with it and make it look really cute. And I'm really excited about how simple this is. You honestly just need glue at the very bottom to hold it to the pot. But if you use the plunger, you don't even need that, because you can put the plunger into a pot that it plunges onto and suctions itself onto, and you don't need any glue at all. That's my favorite. When I don't need any kind of glue at all, that's my kind of crafting. Pot, I don't even glue it. It's perfect. It stays on. I then add my lights that I had bought from Bed Bath & Beyond. I love that they have a timer. I'm really a light snob. I really love lights that go on a timer so that I don't have to remember to put them on. And here are all of our cute fall pieces so far. My simple tier tray, my almost not even a upcycled jar, and my awesome fall tree, and of just under $25 for everything. Just the tree alone would have cost me $30, and I love this tree just as much as the one in the Christmas tree store. I could have used the box. I have one right next to it with my plant in it. I like how I planted it in a silly little tiny pot because I think it looks cute and quirky. I did it on purpose. And I just love how my fall stuff turned out. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you think of my rubber band plan. I think it's much simpler, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fall and Christmas and even trick-or-treat Halloween candy-filled trees in my near future. I want to thank my subscribers for joining me for my little fall upcycle video. I hope that something here has inspired you to go out and get yourself some awesome finds at the Dollar Tree or your local discount store and start crafting for the fall instead of spending more money than you need to. I did show you guys how really, really inexpensively you can make these items compared to buying them in the store, and the difference is phenomenal. And as always, stay safe and stay savvy.